One, two. Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. Yeah, right, no matter what, we airtight. So up there some, and show you yeah, right. Make an ass out of yourself by assuming our music keeps you moving. Play Cuban, you know that I'm 2 levels above you, baby. I'll make you love me, baby. Talking crazy, ain't no what you gotta do. And that jealousy is only gonna lead you. So the only thing left now is God for these cats. So you know you're too hard for these cats. I'm a winner cause I'm too smart for these cats. While I'm making up flats, I'm making up flats.
You don't like me, every wild like you with it. You heard about something, you know that's shady. You're on the lady, the feds hate me. The sun, they say my killers too blatant. You hesitating, I'm in your mama crib waiting. Y'all taping, your fam, destiny lays in my hands. Get lace in my waist. Francis, wait till this age phenomenal. Love rest under your vest, under your abdominal. Powerful bars, so I can powerful cars. When all the different flows, so I can go through all excellence is my presence. Never takes, never hesitate. Even make a bit, real quick, real sick. All nights I perform like Mike. Anyone, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson, action, act guns, ridiculous. And I kick to bust if my ends you touch. Kids are not you touch. In this world I clutch. Two auto, battles. So call me Fatso. Now they call me Castro. My rap flows, militant. Y'all faggots ain't killing shit. Hoops, Chris now keep spilling shit. You overdid it, homes. You in the danger zone. You shouldn't be alone. Hold hands, say it like me. No shade. Frankie, baby. Fantastic. Graphic. Try to make dope like Jurassic. Walked in, pick the small kids who start shit. See me, only me. The underboss of this little boss. Truly yours, Frank White.
Shit, front, back, you know, people in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? Where the real life shit, front, back, you know, people in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? Money on the table and get your math on. Break it down, split it up, get your laugh on. See you later, dog, I'ma get my stash on. There's a bag full of money that I get my ass on. I never lose the passion and go platinum. Said I live it up to all the cash on. Ain't that funny? I'm gonna use plastic, plastic to make classics. Hotter than acid, BD. All I need is a CD. The world boy king, never seen the error. The family, ammo, same candle. We been hot for a long time, burning like a candle. If you can do is check your distribution. My song is the future, I start distribution. You ain't gotta like me, you just mad and I tell her how it is and you tell her how it might be.
Shit, map tight, brass knuckles and flashlights. They be touching the 2-seaters with 2 meters. Send the retard, kiss rings with the meters. Be Diddy from the city, show no pity. I'm the witty one, Frank the crook from the brook. Daddy broke the neck off your coat the neck. No respect, squeeze off to all y'all diminish. Shootouts for 20 minutes until we finish. Then it's to the loop, escape in the coupe, break bread with the kiss, the narrow, chic loops, like Rob join them all. It ain't no replacing him, niggas step up. We just macing them, placing them in funerals. Criminals turn around the brick city. Nobody come off like P. Diddy. Business wise, I play men, high money on entertainment. Y'all just betray men, we spray men. Opposition, competition of the day in the life of the commission.
That's a real life shit, front, back. Where my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? That's a real life shit, front, back. Where my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my bitches is at? Where my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? That's a real life shit, front, back. Where my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? My bitches out, where my bitches is at? Because I'm real high. To my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where my bitches is at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real life shit.
Peace, peace. What's going on out there to the chat, man? What's going on, Little Rock, Tony Smith, Reed Jones, Rashad, I like the name, Flowmaster, Dion, what's going on? Stefan, shout out to you, Stefan. Let's see who else we got in the spot, man. We're gonna go ahead and start in a minute. I was waiting on a few guests. Y'all give me 1 second. Preem. Hey, Preem, I sent you the link already, bro. Preem, I sent you the link already, bro. Hold on, man. Let me get my visuals right. Y'all know the routine, man. Hydrate, niggas. Lord knows I need it. What's going on, Super Mario, bro? All right, let's get started, man. Hey, man, welcome, man. Welcome, everybody. You know, C Boogie Productions coming right back at you with another live stream. Appreciate everybody for showing up on a Sunday, man, spending a little bit of time with me. Um, Today, man, we're gonna get into this sex doll talk, man. It's a pretty animated argument, man. This is actually an extension for what happened over on Reg the Bad Guy show. He did a hangout and we kind of touched on it. So we're gonna do a small continuation of that. Also, you know, if we got time, you know, I'm gonna get into a little bit of incel talk, but we're gonna talk about this sex doll talk. What's going on, D-Rock? Salute, fam. And first and foremost, man, I'm gonna say, look, I got nothing against guys that want to do sex dolls. You know, what goes on in your bedroom goes on in your bedroom. But as far as me and mine, nah, hell no. Hell no, I ain't fucking no sex doll. I'm just gonna put it out there flat. Hell no, I ain't fucking no sex doll, man. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you my reasons why I wouldn't fuck a sex doll. You know, look, bottom line, man, you know, I feel like that shit is really going off the path of reality, man. Once you get into the sex dolls and shit, you know, it's almost like another realm of things. And to me, it's just a little bit too unnatural for me, man. So I'm good on it. You know what I'm saying? I know with the rise of technology and everything, certain things in this world is going to be inevitable at some point. You know what I mean? Even with this internet shit, you know, it's almost a detachment from reality. You know what I'm saying? You know, we living in a real virtual space. You know, so I definitely understand that. You know, I don't live under a rock. But once again, with all that being said, I'm not fucking no sex doll, man. You know, just something I'm not into. You know, and to me, man, just like I said, you know, I think some cats is going a little too far with it, man. Because I did a little research on it. I seen pictures and everything. Yo, man, guys is dressing these dolls up like real women, like real talk. Guys are dressing these dolls up like real women, man. They got them strategically placed around the house. You know what I'm saying? They having little private conversations with them. So it's not just the fact that they fucking the sex dolls. It's the fact that, you know, it's a lot more things that go into it, man. You know, guys is really having romantic relationships with these things, man. They giving them names and shit. The nerve of you niggas. So you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't really know about that, bro. You know, that's a little bit too much for me, man. I mean, because like I said before, man, just imagine, you know, you that guy, like you that brother that's racing home from work. You know, man, you trying to get to the crib. You know, you get home, you freshen up, throw your clothes on, light some candles. You know, set up the ambiance. You know, put on your cologne, all your little coagulates. You know, pour you a glass of wine. Make sure you hydrate, niggas. And then you turn around and whip up the sex doll, bro. To me, man, that's just a little bit too extra, fam. You know, that's just a little too extra, fam. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the fact that I'm judging anybody. I'm telling guys what I'm not doing. You know, and that's the funny thing about these situations too, man. Because when you have these kind of talks, people automatically think, you know, I'm shaming somebody. I'm trying to put somebody down. No, I'm not trying to put somebody down. I'm talking about what I won't do. And I'm just giving my perspective on it. I just think it's a little bit extra. And, you know, you're not even dealing in reality anymore. You know what I'm saying? And to me, here's how I think about it as well. How is that really helping your social skills? You know what I'm saying? If you're spending all your time with a dog and then you get back into the world, you really can't maneuver the right way. You know what I mean? To me, I'll just pass on it. You know, I'll just pass on it. And let me say another thing as well, man. You know, a lot of cats with this sex doll piece and the way that they carrying it, man. Like I said, they dressing them up, they naming them and shit. You know what I'm saying? They spending a lot of extra time with them. You know what I mean? Look, man, you can't tell me that you don't really want a female in place of that sex doll. You know what I mean? Because I can see. Let me say this: I can see if guys just whipped out the sex dolls when it's masturbation time or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Maybe that's understandable. But guys got the sex doll on the couch. They got the sex doll sitting on their lap while they watching Netflix and all kind of wild shit. I'm like, dog, you obviously want a female. I mean, you obviously want a female there. So why not just get the real thing? So it's simping. Let me get this straight. It's simping when you're spending all that time with a female, but it's not simping and it's not unnatural when you're spending that time with a sex doll. I mean, let's break it down with a little bit of logic, man. Let's just break it down with a little bit of logic. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Praying? That's just the way I look at it. So you go out and you blow $10,000 on a sex doll, 10 bands. Yeah, Praying, can you mute up real quick? You got some black on.
That's my bad. I'm eating.
Oh, okay. So let me get this straight. Because them things ain't cheap either, fam. So you go out, you spend 10 bands and more on a sex doll, right? Think about what you could have did with that 10 bands. You know, that's a down payment on a house and some new furniture in that motherfucker. You can go buy you a new motorcycle with that motherfucker. You go out, take you a nice trip. Brazil, Dominican Republic, Philippines, Colombia. Matter of fact, that's more than one trip. And you can go over there and spend as much money on some women as you want. So it's not simping when it comes to a sex doll that you go out and spend 10 bands plus. But when you do it on a real bitch, that's all of a sudden simping. Y'all better stop it, man. Y'all better stop it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better stop it. Oh, somebody said you can get one for 2,500. Okay, cool. Let's take the price down to 2,500. That's still a nice little bit of change. When the last time y'all spent $2,500 on a female? Yo, man, my man Tony Maceo said you can get a real bitch for 75. 75. And let me tell you something about the real bitch. Once she done, she gonna go make you French toast, niggas. The nerve of you niggas. So, look, I'm not putting nobody down. I don't want anybody to think that I'm picking on anybody that does it. But to me, I'm just trying to bring some logic into it, man. That's all I do. I'm trying to bust down the doors of logic. Like, okay, what are we really doing here? You know what I'm saying? You dress up the sex dolls like a human being. You spending a lot of extra time with them. I mean, you obviously having sex with them. You obviously fucking them. Um, what what is the end goal on this thing? You know what I'm saying? Are you that much against dealing with a female that you would put all this extra energy into a sex doll? Because you still putting in energy on something. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's not like you masturbate because you're born with a hand. You know, we born with these. But with a sex doll, man, that's a lot of extra shit. And you know, you got the maintenance on that thing, and you know, you got to get the shit recalibrated every fucking 6 months and all that shit. So, you know, somebody said they can't get pregnant or give you a disease. I mean, yeah, look, there are some pros to dealing with a sex doll. I'm not saying that. I'm pretty sure there is some pros to dealing with a sex doll, man. I'm pretty sure it's some things that you know, some guys would just rather deal with it. I'm speaking for C Boogie Productions, and that's it. And what I'm into and what I'm not into, man. You know, yeah, I know they making the sex dolls about excuse me, like I know they making the sex dolls real. You know, they look like women. I'm not sure if they feel like women, but you know, I'm pretty sure they got the kind of technology. It feels like the real thing. But to me, man, like I say, it just feels a bit unnatural to me. You know, you still, excuse me, pardon me, you're still spending a lot of time by yourself. You know, we don't know the long-term effects of that. Excuse me. We don't know the long-term effects of that shit. If y'all ever seen the movie Castaway, Castaway with Tom Hanks, when he was stuck on that island, right? He didn't have no friends, he was by himself, and he had that volleyball. And he ended up having a volleyball for a while, and he said, "Fuck it." He drew eyes, a nose, and a mouth on that motherfucker. Gave it hair. That was his best friend. That was his best friend. Um, and he damn near was in a quasi relationship with that motherfucker, man. He lost the volleyball at the end of the movie. He cried like a baby. You know, Tom Hanks was essentially out of his mind at that point. If you watch the movie, Tom Hanks was out of his mind. Yeah, Wilson, Wilson. Tom Hanks was out of his mind at that point, man. You know what I mean? You spending too much time with an object, somebody that can't talk to you. So if you're spending that much time with somebody that can't communicate back, that can't strike any kind of emotion out of you, you know, what is the long-term social effects of that shit? You know what I mean? As humans, man, we built to deal with each other, man. We built to problem solve with each other. We built to de-escalate things with each other. We built to strike a certain emotion in one another. But you just got something that, I mean, ultimately can't deal with you back. You know, you really, you know, at that point, man, you living in your mind. Appreciate the PayPal, Deshaun Charles. Appreciate the PayPal, bro. But so Ricky said everybody can't get play. Well, that's not what the episode is about. See, like once again, you know, now that I'm having this conversation, you know what I'm saying? Guys just like, yo, like let them have it. Yo, I'm letting them have it. I'm just giving my perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving my perspective on it, man. I'm not trying to shame nobody. I'm just trying to have a conversation. Like, yo, is this shit natural? Is it natural? Hey, what you got to say about this, Cream? What's going on, fam?
Okay, cool. Here I go. Hey man, yeah. I mean, I'm cool with it. The thought never crossed my mind. Let me repeat that for those in the nosebleed seats. The thought never crossed my mind, but I got no problem with it. I got no problem with it. Because again, I like to keep things simple. If it's anything outside of the natural act in and of itself, it's gonna fall into the alternative bucket. So this falls in the same bucket as masturbation. This falls into the same bucket as prostitution. It falls in the same bucket as whoremongering. It's in the same bucket. I mean, to me, and it's unjudgmental. I don't judge it. So that's why I've got no problem with it. Because everybody, every man, male, whether he's doing it naturally, whether he's doing it through whoremongering, traveling, prostitution, beating, flapping or fapping or whatever they call it, it's all to achieve the same end. So, um, yeah, to me, if it's not the natural thing, it's gonna fall. If it's not the natural thing, it's not gonna fall in the natural act bucket to human beings. Then it's gonna fall into the other bucket. And I respect each man, each individual's right to figure out what works for him. Some guys like, listen, my time is worth money, and I don't pay for the bitch to come. I pay for the bitch to leave, so I don't mind spending money on the regular on the living, breathing person to come. And some guys would be like, listen, I'll do the VR thing, or I may do the doll thing, or I may do the masturbation thing. I mean, it's situational to the person. And it's too, and you can't, I can't, just make like a broad stroke against masses of people because again, I respect each individual person to figure out what works for them. So,
All right, let me
yeah,
ask you a question, Preem. Let me ask you a question. So you got these sex dolls. Somebody in the chat said that you can get one as cheap as 2,500, and I've seen them go up to 10 grand plus. So, you know, with that being said, so it's not simping when you blow $10,000 on a sex doll, but it's simping when you go to the club and buy a bitch 2 Crown and Cokes. Because that's the logic that's going on around.
it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I mean, that's pretty much my question about the
It,
simping part.
yeah, and I think even calling simping is situational to the person because my definition of simping may not be the next person's definition of simping. I'm not gonna say any names, but there's a brother, a YouTuber, a young homie, who his how he works out his satisfying his sexual thing is he goes abroad and he just deals with women abroad, and to him the calculus of that works out better for him because when he's here, he's strictly business. He's gonna spend a couple $100, maybe $200, $300 on a plane ticket round trip. Go over there, and he may be out of pocket $600, $700, but he does that every 2 months. You know, but if you're here in Atlanta, you go out on a decent date, not even the freaking, trick on a broad, but just on anything even decent, you're gonna come out $100, 75, $100, easy. I mean, unless you take another crystals, you know. I mean, and how many women you is a guy gonna take out in 2 months in 2 months time? And then you got the text messages, the this, the that, or whatever. So for a guy who says, "Listen, man, $600 every 2 months," the economics and the calculus and freeing up my mind and not having to manage 2 or 3 women, that works out for me. So if a guy gets a sex doll and he's like, for this sex doll, it may cost me X amount of money. Yeah, you may look at it as it costs me X amount of money, but look at the opportunity cost or the what it I don't have the management, I don't have the conversations, the text messages. The rest of my time is focused, it's isolated on this thing right here, which is going to yield me a better outcome than 10 of these broads would. So for me,
it's a game. I'm not saying me, but I don't know what that guy is thinking. And every guy isn't thinking like. There's some weird dudes out here. There's some weird dudes out here with dolls. There's some weird dudes out here fapping, masturbating. There's some hella weird dudes out here catching planes and traveling. So I can't judge the whole community of guys who go overboard, or the whole community of guys who masturbate, or the whole community of guys who get sex dolls based on the handful of weirdos who do it too as well.
Well, back to what I was saying though, so you blow $10,000 on a sex doll, and look, some people can see that as an investment. Fine, but I'm just
But
looking at the logic.
if I could just interject, because the brother in the chat was right. Again, it ain't my thing. I never, it ain't my thing. But I do know those dolls. Realistically, honestly, the price range is about $2,000 to $3,000 tops.
Oh, okay, no,
Tops.
because I seen some online, because I just did my research before I got up here, and I seen some that went for 10,000.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know,
if you want a dog that has some real, you know, 24 karat earrings and a 2 carat diamond tinted, yeah, you're gonna pay 10 grand. But that same dog without all the extra shit, it's gonna cost you about 2 or 3 grand.
all right, let's meet in the middle. Let's just say 5,000. So
Respect.
like, all right, so 5,000. So you go out, you blow 5 bands on a sex doll. Now we talking about, because you were talking about going overseas, traveling, brothers coming over here, being efficient, being good with your time. Now you go out, blow 5 bands on a sex doll. Look, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, I could think of 100 things I could spend $5,000 on. You know what I'm saying? And I can take 75 out of that 5,000, go get, a sloppy blow job from Mary Sue and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Just for me to get the real thing. So, I see pros and cons in both of them, man. I
Hmm.
see pros and cons as far as getting one and not getting one. But what I'm saying is this: even brothers, okay, like even brothers that's still on the dating scene right now, that's still out here doing their diddy bop, those brothers even take a lot of heat. Brothers call them simps. You know what I'm saying? You a slave to the matriarchy. Like even brothers that's womanizers that ain't spending no money. You know what I'm saying? Those brothers take a lot of heat. Like even the jawline niggas. Like look how much heat guys like Derek Jackson take. You know what I'm saying? Look how much heat guys like what ARC takes. You know what I'm saying? Just for being womanized. Well, I know it's two different things, but just follow me for a second.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so at some point, everybody feels a little bit of the wrath. You know what I'm saying? If you an incel, you're gonna take a little bit of heat. You want a sex doll, you're gonna take some heat. Recently, MGTOW guys just took some heat. Even guys that are womanizers take a little bit of heat. So
Hmm.
it's, so it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah.
So so I
Thank
say guys, kind of get in where you fit in, and say fuck what people think. Because no
Exactly.
matter what you do, a nigga gonna have something to say.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, even guys like me that do the overseas thing. Why you running away? You scared? You can't handle it? You on the face of yeah? What the fuck is that? I don't give a shit. Like this shit is fucking comical. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like you said, man, that's the best. That's that's it right there, bro. The way you just put it. Everybody's gonna catch some heat, but and that's why it's
Let me
not to
read this super
be.
chat real quick. Sorry to cut you off. 4.99 from my boy Stefan Clean Scales. Yo, y'all subscribe to Stefan Clean Scales, man. If y'all if y'all really into the working out, and he mixed some red pill in there. He says 4.99 super chat. He says nothing is like real warm, wet you know, pussy and a slim thick chick genuinely want to fuck you. Teethy. Appreciate the 4.99 super chat, fam. Um, Matter of fact, let me go ahead and mod you up. So look, um, but yeah, but back to what I was saying, it's nothing, you're going to take some heat no matter what position that you ultimately decide to take, you know what I'm saying, in life, you know what I'm saying, God's gonna find a way to discredit you. And see, when God's discredit you, right? Let me tell you what that's about. Like when God's discredit another motherfucker, it's only to put themselves on Mount Olympus. So let's say that I was a guy that was into the sex dolls. To make what I do acceptable to the masses, the first thing I got to do is shit on the jawline niggas. Oh, fuck them niggas. Them niggas is simps. Them niggas is beta males. Them niggas is blue pill niggas. Instead of respecting that space, the first thing I got to do is discredit them niggas. And the lower and lower I put them niggas, the higher and higher I go on Mount Olympus. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, if I was a jawline nigga, you know, in order for people to accept what I'm doing, if I'm out here slaying all the bitches, well, I would have to go ahead and shit on some beta male niggas or shit on some incel niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works out here, man. You know what I'm saying? In this highly competitive space. You know what I mean? So I totally get it.
Yeah,
I
and you
totally
know,
get it.
and the reason why on this right here I fall back is because I've seen it all. And I mean, it could be as little as, it could be as simpleton as people shitting on the pickup artist group, saying, what's wrong with these guys listening to, you know, David Deannis, or whoever that guy was back in the day, or Player Supreme, or Tariq Nasheed. What these guys need to, listen to Game for? What's wrong with these? Everybody's, jumping on. I mean, you've seen it all. If you've been around long enough, you have seen it all. And then you understand that it's situational. Everybody's gonna have opinions, and the thing is, again, but then you also respect that it's up to each individual man to figure out what works for him. You know, but there, like you said, there's always going to be a group that's going to have something to say about how a certain person flows. That's just life. But hopefully, whoever's taking that heat, that criticism, that fire, they have enough confidence, self confidence, enough self esteem to ignore the naysayers and I won't even call them haters, or the folks who just don't understand, or the folks who have something to say. They're entitled to say to have their grievances and to say what they have to say, but you don't have to give a shit about it.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So we got 130 people watching. Let's try
Oh
to get the
shit.
likes up a little bit, fellas. Appreciate y'all joining me and Preem. Right now we talking about sex dolls and is sex dolls natural? And so I kind of want to get back on the subject, the
Okay.
actual topic, that is it natural? You know what I'm saying? Not, is it okay, or is it every man's prerogative? Because every man has their own prerogative. You know what I'm saying? But is it a natural thing? And I gave the example of Wilson from the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks. When he was stuck on that island all by himself and all he had was a volleyball. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, at that point when Tom Hanks made that volleyball his best friend and more, pretty much an extension of himself, Tom Hanks was essentially out of his mind. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what happened to him, as because he spent too much time by himself. It's kind of like a prisoner being locked up in a solitary confinement. And look, I'm not comparing none of this to sex dolls, but follow me. It's kind of like a prisoner being locked up in solitary confinement, man. The more time you spend in there by yourself, the more loony you get. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when they start, passing out the medicine and all that other kind of stuff, because that can drive any sane man crazy. You know what I'm saying? As a human, you need social and human contact, man. Like you need it to keep your sanity. You know what I'm saying? If you lock anybody up in a room by themselves, let's say for 6 to 8 months, if you just lock them in a room, you know what I'm saying? By the time you come back and get that motherfucker, they're not gonna be the same, man. Unless they just some hard pipe hitting, Navy SEAL Delta Force kind of motherfucker, man. But the average person, man, they gonna lose a little bit, man. because they had no human contact. It's kind of like a dog, kind of like a puppy or a dog that you leave out back chained to the tree. You never walk your dog. You know, you leave it out there, rain, sleet, hail, or snow. You know, anytime you feed the dog, you just throw the fucking food out there. You know, never pet the fucking dog. Never show the dog any love or attention. And you know, wonder why these dogs have all these kind of problems. And once you take them to the kennel, they got to re-socialize these motherfucking dogs, man, before they can even give them out to another family. Some of them got to be straight up euthanized because they just so fucked up in the game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs contact, even animals, even animals. So that's my thing. Like, is it natural? Because you end up spending a lot of time by yourself with a sex doll. You know, I'm not talking about the guys that can balance it out. You know what I'm saying? Look, come home. You want to get your masturbation on, you pull it out. Okay, fine. I'll even get with that. I'll even get with that. But at the same time, we don't know the long-term effects of this. We don't know the long-term effects of when people stop having human and social contact. It's kind of like social media. It's like now, even with this cell phone piece, you know, teachers are complaining in school that the kids can't even write the King's English. They write like they text. So if they say, you know, what you doing, they write actually on their homework WID. Everything is abbreviated. That's the long-term effects of texting to a society. So everything has a con to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything. So, you know, we don't know the long-term effects of a sex doll and what it can do to a man. So back to the question, like, is it natural? Only time will tell. Only time will tell on that shit. You know what I mean? Only time will tell. And you know, give it some years and let this thing get more prominent and more publicly accepted. We can turn around and do a proper assessment on that shit.
Yeah. Again, unfortunately, what happens when someone says it's not natural because a guy's not alone? Then the devil's advocates just they should start rising up and growing and spawning in the garden and say, well, when a guy masturbates, he doesn't have anybody there. I mean, that's not natural in and of itself too as well. So, and that's why I say, I mean, it really is a losing argument. And I'm not saying to you, but I'm just saying to anybody because again, to me, once you get out of the natural act, it's just it's a
Well, well,
it's a smorgasbord because
well, well,
uh,
masturbation is natural.
well again you and I may believe that, but there is going to be a pocket of folks who have the same anti-natural talking points as you had with the doll thing, you know, and honestly, and another point to this thing is, I mean, if to a guy that achieves what he's trying to achieve, it doesn't interfere, it works for him. Nobody's getting hurt, nobody's getting harmed, and it works for him, and that's his truth. I can't, I mean, I can't knock it. I can't knock it. I mean, if it's legal, it's moral. You know what? Quasi legal depends on state to state, but I mean, if it's moral, then I mean, it's what it is to me. To me, I mean, again, it's not my thing, but I mean, if a guy says, "Yo, I don't have to waste time on this," and I can, hijack my mind to kind of give me even a more pleasurable outcome than a guy who takes a broad to Applebee's and has to sit through some dipshit conversation with a dipshit broad and get in bed with her only to smell her stinking, dirty, rotten asshole, putting out fucking fumes. I ain't got to go through all that shit. You know what I'm saying? My shit, I still get the same outcome because I can hack it out in my mind. Again, if that's the aim, it's not my thing. But if a guy says I don't have to go through all that, I don't have to, just lower kill off some brain cells to try to carry a conversation with a dumb bitch just to get laid. And I mean,
I mean, but look at that argument right there, though, Preem. See, you know, I would agree um about having a conversation with a dumb broad, gotta dumb yourself down, whatever you gotta do, you gotta get real teethy. But at the same time, I'm be honest, I'd rather have a conversation with a dumb bitch than sit there and talk to a sex doll. I'm gonna be honest, man. To me, it just seemed a bit strange. You know what I mean? You sitting there, you know, you fucking the sex doll, asking, you know, sex doll doesn't feel good and all kind of wild shit. So, you know, but that's just the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for
But
everything that you
but but
don't
but
want to
then,
do,
but then
for
in that right there, that's a whole nother realm. And I'm not saying this to get into that, but then where now that's gone, because that's different. That's like how each person gets off.
hold. Somebody said that's a blue pill argument, see Boogie. Okay, James Cole, like you can explain yourself. Okay, I'm talking about sanity here. I'm talking about reality here. I'm not even talking about red pill or blue pill. I'm talking about motherfuckers living in reality and getting off the path of reality. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about motherfuckers trying to stay sane. That's a blue pill argument, see Boogie. Yo, for everything a motherfucker say he won't do with a bitch, and he'll turn around and do with a sex doll, I gotta raise my eyebrow. Like, what's the difference? Oh, because it's simping when you do it for a hoe. It's simping when you do it for a bitch, but when you do it for a fucking sex doll, oh, we supposed to take that as good, right? So that is a red pill argument? No,
But
that is your argument. That ain't no red pill argument.
but I would say be very. I would say don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go down that road, because there's no win down that road, because now where that conversation is in the realm of how each guy gets off, how
Okay,
one
hold
guy
on.
gets
Hold
off is
on.
the way another
Yo,
guy
hold on, Preem. Like, let
gets
me
off.
address this guy in the chat room again. So he said,
Huh?
why is it your business? See, once again, the shaming tactics on my conversation. You know, now I got to get on some hostile shit. Like, okay, like why are you listening to me talking about it? Why is it your business that is my business? I mean, I'm having a conversation. I'm not shaming anybody. Did I once say don't get a sex doll? Did I once say those guys are losers? Did I once say those guys were maniacs? No, I'm giving my perspective on it. I'm giving my perspective. So once again, why is it your business, James Cole? Why is it your business to mind my business? And we can keep going down this shit all day and night, man. I'm having a conversation. But you know what? I know it. I've been peeping this shit for a while. I've been peeping this shit for a while about when guys have certain conversations. You know what I'm saying? Certain conversations get people triggered, man. And you know, I noticed this shit the first time when I was on Obsidian show, and I kept saying to guys, you know, anytime you're dealing with a bitch, you got to get a pussy wet. Niggas kept getting tight. Niggas put out the torpedo on me. They put out the rocket launcher, the 50 cal, and I'm like, yo, I'm just stating the truth. You got to be some level of attraction when you're dealing with a hoe. But nope. You know what I'm saying? Niggas put out the torpedo. And now we got this. You know, I'm not shaming nobody, but keep your shaming tactics to yourself when it come to me. Cause I could get up here and say all kind of shit. I'm like, yo, I'm not judging nobody. I'm having the conversation. And you know what? And you know what? There are people in society, the CDC, they're going to sit down on a long table with nothing but people with letters behind their name, PhD, MD, all that shit, and have this same fucking conversation. So whenever they have that conversation, James Cole, make sure you outside of the CDC with your picket sign and telling them why they minding why they watching people dicks. That's what I want you to do. Because trust me, anything that goes on in society, any fad, they study it. Your government studies it and the long-term effects of it. Do your research. So yes, it's going to be people at the CDC that's going to sit down and they're going to look at this shit. Yeah, go ahead, Praying.
Yeah, I was just what was that? Yeah, with the and again, I would just advise not to go down that doggone rabbit hole as far as what's appropriate, not appropriate, especially during sex or the act of sexual intercourse or being with a female, this and that, whatever. I mean, because shit. That's like there's like a thousand different outcomes. I mean, I've talked to brothers and shit they into. I'm like, okay, I I guess, but it ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I'm probing or prying or being creeping or trying to figure out what they do, but folks is into different shit when it comes to that. When it just comes to getting off, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've heard and I'm not even gonna try to gross somebody out or get into it, but I've had broads bring up things to me that they wanted to try, and I'm like, "Are you fucking nuts?"
Man, these hoes is nasty, bruh.
Yeah, but bro, they're like, "Yeah, dude." It's like, "What's wrong with you, dudes?" I'm like, "Dudes let you do that shit? Are you fucking crazy? What the
It's
fuck?"
nasty, bruh.
Well,
It's,
I'm like,
boy,
"What?"
these bras is nasty.
But hey, you know what I'm saying? And again, when we're talking about this, that's the thing. Once we go down, then what we're saying is the shit that gets me going or gets me off. If what you do is not aligned with this, then it's inappropriate, it's wrong, it's abnormal, it's unnatural. And I would just say for me, the only thing that's on that, if you fucking with kids under age, that's a death sentence for to me. You know what
But
I'm
there's some
saying?
people that think that's okay. Well, Prem, there's
No,
some people
well,
that think that's nasty.
line them up and give me a loaded gun.
There's
You
some
know
people,
what
yo,
I'm saying?
man.
Because I go ahead and take them out. That shit, no way, no how in hell. I would take the time. I would do the goddamn time. No
Look,
way, no hell.
look. We live in a society where it's pretty much liberal. Bottom line, anything goes. Once they passed the gay marriage laws, that was the last sign of we ain't going back to a I guess more traditional society, which is fine. I mean, I don't lose no sleep over it. I got my views on everything, but I don't lose no sleep over what the next man do or the next woman do in our bedroom. I may have my opinion, but look, opinion on like assholes, man. Everybody got one. Appreciate the $2 chat, Nino Brown. You know what I'm saying? So opinion on like assholes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have one. So but look, but I gotta address a bigger point now and kind of get off of this sex doll shit for 1 second, fellas. Look, I've been noticing in these red pill spaces too, man. Guys are changing the definitions on shit to fit their lifestyle. And no, man, that got to stop as well. So I hear guys calling guys simps when it's not even warranted at that time. You know what I'm saying? So guys are pulling
That's a
the
problem.
field goal posts in and out to wherever they feel. They changing the definition on beta males. They changing the definition on what an alpha male is. It's like, stop it, fam. Stop. Stop. Everything can't fit a person's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I see it all too often. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm on the side of truth. I'm on the side of truth. Bottom line. So I'm not aligned with anybody. That's why I don't wave any flag. I've never considered myself immoral, SYSBM, MGTOW, but I'm like, yo, I'll take a little bit of each and put it into my life. That's it. But I've never waved a flag because, you know, I just don't want to be boxed in and pigeonholed like that. No, I just don't. But at the same time, we can't be taking definitions and trying to concoct it and whip it up to fucking fit our life, man. No, an alpha male is what an alpha male is. He is who he is. A beta male is who he is. A select male is who he is. But then guys, a lot of cats come in and want to change these definitions or try to shame God. It's like, stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? Before guys took the red pill, before guys even was heavy into this manosphere internet shit, niggas was not worried about that shit. But I know it's the problem. It's playing with a lot of people's egos, man.
Exactly. I mean, and the whole the ridiculous thing about it is you just got. I mean, nobody owns the definition of what a man is, what a beta male is, what an alpha male is. It's like, but everybody swears that they own the definition, so they're quick to point the finger and be like, "You're not this." Well, it's like, what makes you the ownership of the definition of what is and what is not? It's crazy, and it roots from a lack of respecting, that that people are individuals, you know,
Well, hold on.
and someone could have a completely different outlook, paradigm, perspective on something. If it's legal, it doesn't break the law. It's got to be respect. I mean, I don't want to say it's got to be respected, but I would just say it is what it is. I mean, shit, and move on.
So look, and okay.
Otherwise,
Pharaoh said,
some problems. There's gonna be problems. There's gonna be
so
problems.
yeah, but I'm still going to address it because I've been putting this stuff in my videos in little bits, but I'm going to go ahead and address it right now. An alpha male is not subjective. He is who he is. It's not subjective. Now we can look, everybody can sit back and concoct their own definition of it. It is what it is. But I'll say this, man. This is what I tell people to make it easier on motherfuckers, man. Let the evidence of your life tell you who you are. That'll just make it easy for everybody. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to sit around and have these discussions over and over again. Let the evidence of your life say who you are. Bottom line. Because an alpha male is not subjective. Hold on, give me 1 second. My computer almost cut off on me. An alpha male is not subjective. It's not. Now, other guys can throw all of this other different ingredients into the gumbo pot, take ingredients out the gumbo pot. It doesn't matter. But look, I'm gonna tell you what, man. You know the alpha male when he walks into the room. Most people, I mean, a true all-encompassing alpha male. I keep saying this. You probably only gonna bump into about 4 or 5 in your whole life. A lot of people got alpha traits. I'm talking, yo, man. I tell people all the time, man, what you gonna do if everybody said they're alpha and then you got a Malcolm X that walks into a room and he's 6'3" and he's handsome and he's speaking articulately and all the women just stop what they're doing. Yo, man, alpha males come along, far and few in between. So, I'll just leave it at that because I know what's going on because I'm a man and some things play on our egos. They play on our egos. They really do,
So,
man.
in your what makes an alpha male? What defines or makes an alpha male?
Yo, an alpha male is somebody that's in total control of his life, total control. An alpha male is a leader of men first. First, he's a leader of men. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the women come with the package with the alpha male. Yes, they do. I've heard people just say crazy things like, no, the women come with that package. So you got that. You know what I'm saying? The alpha male, he is going to breed first with the women. You know what I'm saying? The alpha male uh, is more of a feeling. It's all, like I say, it's all encompassing. It's an energy. You know what I'm saying? It's an energy of the alpha. People want to follow him. You know what I'm saying? It's people duty to follow him. They don't think twice, but to follow him. They don't even think. He put people brains to sleep. We talking about men first, because they know he know what he's doing. So when I say it's all encompassing, an alpha male does not have to compensate for anything because he is who he is. That's why I say you're only going to bump into a couple in your life. You're not going to bump into a lot of alpha. Everybody screaming they alpha, I'm alpha, I'm alpha. No, man, he is who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
So
let me ask you this: What does being well? One thing that came to mind, but I just want to say this, but I don't want this to be part of the question. But when you said an alpha male leads men, most folks would assume that a pimp, the symbolic pimp of the 70s, 80s, that he was an alpha male. But
they didn't they didn't have male friends. They had male peers. They probably got with, twice, two, three times a month or whatever. But they were surrounded by women. So they didn't lead men, they actually led women. And pimps were the quintessential alpha male. But that without that being said, what does being an alpha male guarantee someone? Being an alpha male in today's world, what would that guarantee you? If you were the quintessential alpha male today, what would that guarantee you?
I mean that's now that question is a little bit more, complicated because nothing in life is guaranteed for anybody. But the alpha male is you know I would say this, alpha males are more favored. You know what I'm saying? Like they more favored, so I would see more doors being open for him. But look, I don't. I mean, to me, that's a question that can't be answered because you said guaranteed. I can't look at it like that because I don't even look at life as nothing is guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So that's I don't know. I would have to ask a more of an expert at that because to me, I'm like, what can you guarantee anybody? You can't guarantee that I'll take another breath in the next hour. So I can't answer that question, man. You know what I mean? What does he do for the world? I don't know. Like I don't even really know where you want to take the question. So it's kind of bugging me out. So I don't even know how to answer it. Somebody said alpha males make things happen. I mean, look. I mean, a lot of people make things happen. You know what I'm saying? Basically, all I'm saying is this. And I don't want to get too deep into this. All I'm saying is this. The alpha when he walks into a room. Um, I've met a couple in my life where it was undeniable, that energy, that aura that they had. It was like a light was shining on them. People stopped and listened to him talk. Me and Dollar Will got into a long exchange and correspondence about this. And Dollar Will, like 55 years old, and he said, dog, and he live in DC. He said, I only met like 3 or 4 alpha males in my whole life. And like we had to agree that everybody tried to throw this title on him, but it's like, dog, the real one because you just know. I mean, you know what you know. It's more of a feeling than you can articulate it. You know what I mean? A lot of times online, we talking about these sexual alphas. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the all encompassing. I'm talking about a Vladimir Putin when he walks into a room and he's so self-assured, nobody can fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about General Petraeus. I'm talking about it's some guys that's all encompassing. Y'all get caught up on the sexual alphas. These guys that that's why Ron Wills gave it the name select males that women would prefer to fuck. I'm not talking about those guys right now. I'm talking about the Muhammad Ali's, man, the Malcolm X.
And the reason why I asked, is it, what does it guarantee? I wasn't trying to change the subject, but I mean, to the whole thing. Because I'm just saying, I was playing devil's advocate, like I like doing. I like playing devil's advocate, and a guy may be like, or a kid may be like, or my nephew, my son, whoever may be like, is it worth me pursuing to be an alpha male? What's the end game to that? Does that get what is
But
that?
you don't pursue being an alpha. That's that's
Yeah.
that's basically what I'm saying. That
Okay. Okay. So
I
so
mean,
so
he is who he is.
okay. So then he may ask bluntly, is it worth shit? Is being an alpha in this world worth shit? And if it
I don't
is,
know. Talk to the
tell me
alphas,
what
man.
it's worth.
I mean, you would have to talk to the alphas. You would have to sit down and talk to a true alpha, like I say, a Vladimir Putin. You know what I'm saying? A Muhammad Ali, a Malcolm X, a General Petraeus, a Colin Powell. Sit down with these guys and ask them what has that done for them.
But
I can't answer that question.
but but,
You
but
know,
then but then the thing is, a guy may be like, well, is Mark Zuckerberg an alpha?
yeah. I mean, like he's an alpha. Why not? Why not? Y'all keep getting caught up on the sexual. I'm not talking about the sexual alphas. I'm
Hmm.
talking about the all-encompassing. You born with a little bit extra. We can change the subject because these look, man. I already know with these with these convers. Me personally, I love it. I love these conversations. I can have them all day, but I know what they do to men, especially black men. They play on the ego, But I do it for fun. I do it for fun. When I'm sitting around, I bring up the alpha conversation, and you know what I mean, because I know what's going to happen. Guys going to get tight. Guys going to get tight because it's playing on the ego. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, you know him when you see him. You know what I'm saying? When that energy gets sucked out of that room when he leave, like, oh shit, it's something about it, man. Um, so guys in this red pill space got them mixed up. They talking about these sexual alpha guys. I'm not talking about them, man. I'm not. I'm talking
Cool.
about the all encompassing, the one that is undeniable, man. It's
Right, right, right.
undeniable. So that's
No,
pretty much what I'm getting at.
absolutely. I agree. I
You
agree.
know what I mean? But you know,
But oftentimes, unfortunately, so it could be society, the culture, whatever kind of things assumes that sex equates alpha.
it comes with the package.
That it comes with the package all the time.
I'm not saying that an alpha male
Sometimes,
puts all his energy into that, but I'm saying the woman come with the package
of course,
of
of
being
course,
an alpha,
money,
but
money, 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 power, respect, or to quote, Tupac, "Fuck 'em all while I scream as I dream in tongues. Fuck a trick, get me rich, and the bitches will come." So I mean, women are a byproduct, of high performance or peak
let me
performance.
tell you something.
Mhm.
Okay, like let me put it like this, you know, and like this can be a social experiment for anybody on the panel to just do, depending on how they look at the world. You can take, let's take take about 15 students, right? Students, and just put them in a room and put cameras around the room, right? Put cameras around the room and see who is the one that pops up that ends up leading the rest of the bunch. You know, you can even do this with grown men, or even like I remember military training. Being out there training all day and night. It was always one person that actually made things happen. It was one person we didn't mind following behind. We didn't think twice about following behind because we knew our life was good in their hands because they were so self-assured. That person will pop up. You don't have to sit back and with a flashlight and figure out who it is. That person will appear when it's time to. That's all I'm saying. That person will show itself. It's a raw substance. Um, and I've seen it too many times. I've seen it on several occasions where the alpha will appear and show itself. And so I'll just leave it at that and we can move on because that is I can have the conversation for 3 hours, man, but it's kind of like one of those things where guys gonna always disagree. So because they getting the sexual alpha mixed up with what I'm talking about. And pussy pulls on this Negro's ego so much, to where as though as he can't even focus once you had this conversation. Because once again, now I'll say this one last statement. Alpha male, the woman is a part of the package. There's no alpha male without the woman. It's just not. It's just not. On a hierarchy, I don't even know how people even do that. That is being disingenuous, man. But anyway, all right, moving on. Um, let's talk about this incel shit, man. So like once again, like this is just another extension on what happened over there on Reg the Bad Guy show. You know, um, and like not to get too deep into it, man, but like here's my view on the incel piece. I don't judge people. I don't put people down. But in my life and in my lifestyle, I'm like this, man. I can't feel sorry for a motherfucker or have any empathy for a motherfucker unless they exhausted all of their resources, right? Um, and when I talk about the incel, I mean the guy that put in the work, you know, expanded their dating pool, travel, whatever they had to do to achieve the goal that they wanted to. I'm talking about the incel here. If his goal is to get laid by beautiful women, you know what I'm saying. But like a lot of folk, they start to cape for the incel, and I'm like, damn, dog, y'all don't cape for homeless people like that. Y'all don't fucking cape for handicapped people like that. Y'all don't cape for veterans like that. But I see guys in the red pill space, they throw all that shit out the window and start caping for the incel. That tells me something. And the way I see it, and the way I always see it, yo, life ain't fair, man. Life ain't fair. Some of us even on this panel,
It's
or
complicated.
huh?
I apologize. I thought I was muted. I said it's complicated, but I'll go ahead and mute.
You know, life ain't fair, and it's like some people even in the chat room probably were born in such fucked up ass circumstances, but they had to get it done. No excuses. But I notice when it come to pussy, we want to throw all these other variables in there, and to me, I'm vehemently against that. Because if I sat on the panel and say, I was born in poverty, I grew up fucked up, niggas would say, man up, stop acting like a bitch, get it done. You ain't shit, you a pookie. But if we start talking about pussy, and I find this very interesting, I've been looking at this thing for like the last 2 months. You start talking about pussy, niggas start getting tight. But in anything else in the world, is no fucking excuses. As men, we got to get it done. I mean, to me, that leaves me befuddled. Because if I sit up here and say, "Yo, man, I grew up with no parents. I spent a lot of time on the street. I damn near raised myself. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Life was against me. Niggas would be like, "Oh, there you go again with the woe is me. The woe is me, nigga." Because I know how y'all think. But once we start talking about this pussy and the incel, and I tell the incel to put in the work, niggas got all these other excuses. Niggas got all these other excuses. And to me, it's like, no, if y'all gonna have one standard of no excuses, especially for black men, then it's gonna be the same across the board with the incel. No excuses. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. It's that simple.
What's the definition of an incel?
Involuntary celibate.
Correct.
Involuntary celibate. He can't fuck without paying for it or any other means. He can't fuck on his own merits.
And and so someone who's involuntarily celibate, he may have a lazy eye. Um, he may have a tumor on the side of his head. Um, whatever. He may be 5'3", whatever. It's not, he's involuntarily say he's not trying to be celibate, but no matter how hard he try, he just can't get laid. He may be too short. He may have a bad attitude, whatever. He just can't get laid. But so that right there is a fact. That makes him an incel. He's involuntarily celibate because just going out there naturally in a marketplace, he no matter how hard he try, he's still gonna come back celibate. So he's involuntarily celibate. But if he finds a pathway or something to where he can still get laid, whether it's through prostitution, whether it's through other means, whether he can still get off through other means. Yeah, he's still involuntarily celibate in the marketplace, but if he's found a way to get his rocks off, what does I mean? I guess is he still an incel? Yeah,
Well, um, I don't really know the rules and regulations.
yeah.
It's
That's
kind
what
of,
I'm saying. I mean, I don't know.
but I'm just having a conversation of like, look, man, I just noticed, the heavy caping for incels, and I'm like, yo, man, check this out. Check this out, man. Why you think they came up with the Special Olympics for people who was born with either deformities or some kind of handicap? But you ever notice people who was born, either blind, deaf, or some kind of handicap? Those people don't want anybody to feel sorry for them. They get it done. They find ways to drive. They find ways to raise
Exactly.
kids. They they
Exactly.
find they find a way.
Yep.
Go down to Fort Sam Houston, down there in San Antonio with all the wounded warriors, and see how they getting down. They got their own
Hmm.
basketball leagues. They got all kind of shit popping. They're trying to get themselves together. They don't feel sorry for themselves. And it's not and because of this,
That's
society
what I'm
found a
saying.
way to celebrate them. Hold on, Preem. And because of this, because of that mentality, society found a way to celebrate them. Like, you know what? We're gonna lift these people up and we're gonna give them a helping hand. Because a lot of these people don't want anybody to feel sorry for them. They want to live a normal life by any means necessary. But for the incel motherfucker, the incel have a whole group of motherfuckers that sit back and make any excuse in the world for him. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Y'all don't do that with anybody else that seems to come up short in life. And once again, it goes back to my point when I say life ain't fair. You know, I think the same thing about the blind man, about the blind man. It sucks. He was born with no eyes. He'll never see. Even if he have kids, he'll never see his kids. The guy that's deaf, he'll never hear shit unless he gets some kind of surgery. The guy that was born with no legs, paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? But we don't even have that same veracity half the time. But when it comes to the incel, man, we want these Negro. I'm like, no, man, I'm not coddling anybody. If I coddle anybody, it's going to be those motherfuckers. Appreciate the follow the super chat, Xanatos. Let me read it. Dudes who argue for hardcore corporate capitalism for everything who sound like hardcore Marxist socialists when it comes to getting pussy. So you know what I'm saying? Thanks, Xanatos. So that's basically what I'm saying, man. We got our picks and chooses when it comes to who we want to cake for. But I noticed, especially with men, man, when it comes to pussy talk, and no, I'm not talking about you, Preem, because you're pretty objective on this topic. But I'm just speaking, man. I've been noticing this for like the last few months in this red pill space. Guys will jump out the fucking window. But I'm like, yo, man, y'all don't jump out the window for anybody else that life ain't fair for. Come on. Who said life was? I mean, it sucks. It sucks. I'll give you that much. It sucks if you was
Because
born, huh?
because where I mean, again, for me and the way how I judge it is, has this individual person, not the group, not the classification, not the title, not the category, has this individual person found a solution for them? And if the answer is yes, the answer is yes. So they could be an incel. They could have been involuntarily celibate. But if they found a solution for them, I wouldn't call them an incel no more. But if they sit there and they say, well, things just aren't going my way, I'm just not gonna do nothing until things change or people come and, submit to my needs, I'm like, what the fuck what the fuck are you smoking? Life don't work that way. But if someone says, okay, it is what it is, the marketplace has showed me that I ain't gonna, I can't, is not willing to go ahead and pay my price. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna I'm gonna do the whoremongering thing. I'm gonna do the sex tourism thing. I'm gonna do the prostitution thing. I'm gonna do the masturbation thing. I'm gonna do the sex doll thing. I'm gonna do what the fuck I gotta do. Not saying me, of course not, but I'm gonna do what the fuck I gotta do, what I'm saying, to achieve those same ends. But the guy who sits there with his, you picture someone just standing there with their hands, with their arms crossed over their chest, be like, I ain't moving, I ain't doing nothing. That's the guy that I ain't got no sympathy for. It's like, bro, it is what it is. You
It
know,
is.
so a guy like me who was born a blue black Negro, I ain't gonna pull no female that likes light skinned cats. It ain't never gonna happen. But I ain't gonna stand there with my arms crossed because there's plenty of females that want a super dark man. So I'm gonna go hunt over there. guys who, you know, life dealt you with an incel hand, you want to stand there with your arms crossed and be like, I'm gonna wait till the world changes for me. God, God bless you. Let me know when that happens. I need to play a lottery on that day.
Yeah, man.
That,
But I think you got the right attitude towards it though, Preem. Because I think the same way. I think the same way. Like, yo, let's say it was a female that don't like bald head niggas. I'm gonna go to the room where they like bald head niggas.
yeah.
I'm
And
not
that's
gonna sit around.
cool.
I'm not gonna sit around and get this room full of women that don't like bald guys and try to convince them and shame them to like bald guys. Are you fucking kidding me? No. I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated, wherever that shall be.
And this is where it gets tricky because I've got to be honest. And you're talking bald, but it could be a plethora of reasons why or variances why. But my judgment is not based on the solution that you found. My judgment, for lack of a better word, or thumbs up, is that you found one, that you stepped to one, that you took the initiative towards one. So that's why the incel guy, who may have found a solution that it may not be my solution, I still got to give him a thumbs up and prop because he took the initiative to determine his outcome. To he was the master of his destiny, of his future. I got to give him that. It may not be what I would do, but man, he made the move. And for me, the way I judge on my scorecard, that's an A plus. It may not be what I gotta do, what I would do, but I got to give him an A plus because he took the initiative. He took it's the guys that don't take the initiative that I wipe my ass with.
That's funny. But no, man, you're right though, bro. And I gotta concur with that statement. Hold on, hydrate, niggas. Yo, because I gotta concur with that statement. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like this, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just no excuses, man. That's all I gotta say. If you're gonna have that mentality throughout your whole life and have that ideology, then you got to carry that into your sex life as well. But that's just one of the things that I notice is that when it comes to that, guys come up with all this other shit, man. And I'm like, yo, come on. If you bring up white supremacy, that go ahead and shoot you down. You bring up racism, that shoot you down. You bring up any kind of thing that shoot you down. But you start talking about pussy, boy, they got every excuse in the world, man. You like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to go out and march on Washington about this shit. I'm like, man, the nerve of you niggas. And I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but to me, man, that's just being disingenuous. That's being disingenuous, man. 100%. 100%, man. So, but I already know the issue, man. The issue have been diagnosed with these kind of talks. They pull on the egos of men. Because like I said, once you take the red pill, once you really take the red pill for the guys that are genuinely red pill, one of the harsh realities you face with is dealing with female nature. But another harsh reality that's worse, that you really guys start losing their mind, is where they rank in the hierarchy. And some guys don't want to do anything about that. And all I'm saying is this. I'm not even saying you should even like your spot in the hierarchy. I'm saying, nigga, go do something about it. That's all I'm saying. You find that alpha and you go lock horns with the motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like your spot in the hierarchy, do something about it. Or just sit it out. Motherfucker got options, man. But yo, on some real shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys ain't doing shit about their situation. You ask guys, have they traveled? They say no. You ask guys, do they date outside their race? They say no. You know what I'm saying? You ask guys, have they dipped into some self-improvement, they say no. I'm like, nigga, the nerve of you. Don't talk to me until you have done those things. I'm serious, man. The fucking nerve of you to come up to me before you have exhausted all your resources. I, I mean, come on. So that's where I'm at in this thing, man. Not that guys should even spend all their time on pussy. I'm just saying, if guys want it, the guys that complain about it, obviously they want it. Do something about it. That's all I'm saying. Every guy, unless you a jawline nigga for real, every guy got to get out here and work his mojo. You got to get your diddy bop on, or you can just sit it out. But if you sit it out happily. I don't want to hear your fucking mouth. If you sit it out, I don't want to see your fucking teeth. That's how I feel about it. If you sit it out, don't try to galvanize motherfuckers to feel how you feel if you really want to sit it out. Because if motherfuckers really going to sit something out, they'll figure out other ways to fill their time.
Hello, you still there? Uh-oh. Breaker 19. Breaker 19. Can if y'all can hear him in the chat, can someone hit a one? I don't know where Boogie went. He might have to click back on. Can you guys hear me? This is Preem. Can you hit a one if you can hear me in the chat? Okay, cool. So Boogie stepped aside or something's going on with his stream, but he'll be back in about a minute. He'll be right back. Okay. All right. So normally I would, during these interludes I would sing "When the Stars Are Out in the Moonlight." Just fucking with y'all. No, I'm not gonna sing. um anyway, so yeah. So like, Boogie was saying, it's the guys who, I mean, it is what it is. Life is not fair. And that's why I was saying life could deal you a lump in your head, he could deal you a lazy eye, he could deal you 5'5". Life can deal you with permanent acne, a bunch of shit, man. But it's like, what are you gonna go ahead and do about it? So life can deal you being an incel. And that's why I said,
All right, I'm back, niggas.
yeah, he's
My,
back.
my bad, man.
I,
I
I,
had
I,
to.
I did a soliloquy for your audience, man. It was giving me a standing ovation, man. I went ahead and did a song for him, man.
No,
Yeah.
appreciate it, bro. Had a little technical difficulty for a second, but man, I gotta give me a microphone, man. Off the subject, man. I gotta give me a microphone, man. But another subject for another day. But yeah, man. But that's really it, though, Preem. You know what I'm saying? Not to go hard on the incels, but I got a mentality of get it done. That's all I'm saying. Get it done. And that's what everything in life. I would tell, especially for the young. Hold on one second. Especially for the younger cats, I would tell those guys, don't even worry about pussy right now. You know what I mean? Get your paper, get this, get that. You know what I'm saying? But for the guys that have that, for the guys that got every other thing in their life situated, and that small segment of their life, talking about their dating life, is not what they want it to be, then put the work in. Let's look at the 21 convention. The 21 convention is those guys are very successful men that go down there. You're not gonna see no Joe Schmo at the 21 convention. You're not gonna see no Joe Schmo down there. But what happens is those guys pay like 2,000 plus for those tickets to go and hear men speak.
and talk about, whatever they talk about, man, this red pill shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what they talk about because I ain't paying no $2,000. But the point is, so that is very serious to some people, man. To some people, dating and mating is very serious, and they are willing to spend top dollar to get some help on that. Even these dating coaches, man, they make a lot of money. Some of these guys is making six figures a year. So, like I said, you're not gonna get no Tyrone and Pookie getting a dating coach. Not that they would probably need one, but the point is, no, man. You know what I'm saying? You get well-established guys that just need that little bit of motivation or help. Most of the time, most of the time, you're not even doing coaching. You're just telling people to get out their own way.
But you know what, the game exactly, Boogie, and the game is changing. The game is changing, man. And I will give it about another at the most it's got about another 3 years. At the most it's got another three years, because I mean I'm really, and I don't mean to change the subject really quick, because everybody's heard the word marketing expert, marketing consultant. That shit is fucking dead. That's the realm. I mean, I don't claim to do that or whatever, but this whole it's gonna fall. That's falling to the wayside. The same.
High-level capitalist, nigga.
Say it again. Yeah, I mean that exact that a high performance individual. People are seeing, like you just said, that the whole dating shit is a byproduct of, I forgot how you phrased it, but if you take care of this other shit, that dating female shit is coming with it. You don't focus on that. That's like you like going down a couple of levels. You focus on the shit that's like 2 or 3 levels up. And the marketplace, the consumer, because information is so widespread right now, they are seeing that. But again, I mean, these guys are on their last win, and trust me, I've been knee deep in the marketing and sales of these marketers and all. Yeah, I mean, and it's just sad right now. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Every time I turn on a YouTube video or try to watch something decent, I gotta see some commercial, some guy with some Ferrari or Lamborghini. I'm like, get the fuck out of here! I mean, what the fuck is this shit? It's like a minstrel show now. But I don't mean to go ahead and digress. But that same thing is happening with the dating and the seeing the females. Is that what's going to happen? Is the consumer, the marketplace, is gonna understand? Man, it's purpose first. It's the reason why you're alive. It's what wakes you up at the what one thing is driving you. What's your ambition? Focus on that, and all this other stuff is going to be a byproduct of that, man. I'm happy to see that, because a lot of folks got played with these dating coaches and this and that and whatever, man, and just didn't get the basic fundamental stuff done first, and realize you don't have to focus on the dating thing. That shit's gonna take care of itself. Take care of this other bigger shit. You know what I'm saying? Your bigger reason why. I'm sorry for the rant, but I just want to get that out real quick.
One of the things that we see too, man, is, I mean, but I would say to that is, like a lot of guys without the actual experience, is once they do get successful and they don't have any red pill knowledge, they do get torn out the frame. And so, you got to have a bit of a balance as well, I would say, because you don't want to be the one that, achieves success and you got millions stacked and investments, and, you got hemmed up on a succubus. You know what I'm saying? But it happens far too often. And what happens is that women, they actually count on those guys. Those are the guys that they're shooting for, the guys that never had those experiences. Those are the guys that they target to tear them out the frame or trap them or whatever word you want to use.
Yeah. And man, I apologize if I get a little sidetrack here, but I won't say any names. But it's like you got some brothers in the man, in that are who make a living, coaching brothers on how to dress, this and that and whatever. And I mean, if those and it's really sad and unfortunate, because I understand folks, those folks might be new to information and just seeing just how high performance people are, but high performance people understand there's only so many hours in a day, and you absolutely cannot focus, devote that so many hours to what type of cologne, shoes, shirt, tie. You're gonna wear what's in season, what's out of season. That's monkey shit. Because the time you're devoting to that, you aren't devoting to creating value for your employer, for the marketplace, for your market, for whatever. I mean, that's just how shit works. But I mean, again, guys think that okay, if I look good and focus all this time on the new glasses or the new cologne or this, that, that's not real world. That's not how this shit works in the real fucking world. It ain't. That's some minstrel shit. That's some man. That's some coon shit. Honestly, that's not real. That's not how this shit works, man. That's not reality. Yes, you want to be. I mean, if you're a man, you're gonna be groomed. Period. But all this peacocking shit, devoting all that time to what's in and all that. Are you fucking kidding me? Who does that? That's actually worth some shit. No,
Yeah,
they're spending their time focusing on some things that actually deliver value, that bring value. But again, pardon me for getting corny on this shit, but it's just,
yeah.
yeah.
Like one thing I'll say to this, before we go and close it off, I got to go grab some dinner. But you know, see for guys that do get those kind of services, you know, I try to look at it very objectively, and because I can't look at it out of my lenses, because I may have certain social skills, or I may have put in the work to achieve certain things in that area. But for the guys that don't have it at all, and the only way they can get it for whatever reason that they got to pay for it, I just say why not? You know what I'm saying? If you got the money to do it, why not? It won't kill you, and best case scenario, you see some results. Worst case scenario, you out of some money. But I try not to look at people like that, and who lack certain social abilities. You know what I mean? Some people just don't have it, and so they want it. You know what I'm saying? They want it because they have everything else on lock. So if you got to pay somebody to coach you up a little bit or help you out in that area, could be a good investment in the long run for you. You know what I mean? The same way we pay to go to little tech conventions, or people pay for personal trainers, and whatever the case may be. Like whatever people feel that they lack and they pay for. Everything is up for sale. People even pay for their own religion. So I just say for the people that want it, for the people that feel that they need it, I kind of just say go for it. And
Bro, and I totally agree. If people are willing to go ahead and do that for the reward of turning heads or having people say, "Oh, you look good," and that's good enough for them, that's the reward that they are seeking. God bless them. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's different. There's someone the validation of the public or just people saying you look nice or this and that. If that's validation, if that's spending all that time and money is what to get that outcome, to get the validation of people saying that you look good. Some people need that, I guess. You know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because I don't want to get too deep because we'll be talking all night. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But I will say this. As human beings, we all get validated, but it usually happens when you're young. Going through your adolescence, going through puberty, you get validated at some point in life, whether it's be, when you're young, when you're a toddler, you're taking your first steps, everybody clapping, or you win some kind of award in elementary school, or, you had a speech on Martin Luther King birthday and you did good and you got treated, so, the validation is a natural part of life. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're talking about, but usually those kind of people, well, I'm not going to say that, but usually people that seek validation later in life, they didn't receive it, coming up. They didn't receive it growing up. You know what I mean? And, some people spend a life a lifetime seeking that shit, you know. And it is what it is. But we all got validated at some point in life, whether it be a karate tournament, you won a trophy, or basketball tournament, football, whatever. So, you know, we all get that validation at some point, and that's what shapes us, you know, and that's what builds your confidence to send you off into the world as an adult. So a lot of people miss those, you know, a lot of people miss that. You know, that's why you have a high school graduation and you walk across the stage and you shake everybody's hand, you know, to give you that sense of pride in what you did. You know, that's an ultimate validation that you put in the work, even college and things like that. You know, so we all get validated. It's just some people seeking validation in the wrong places. And that's what's hurting folk. But yo, I gotta go.
Man,
Maybe
man, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on, man. And you know, congrats on the show, man. Congrats on the outreach, man. Congrats to the brothers in the chat that are listening to this man. I mean, he's on some third eye shit. Definitely stay tuned, pay attention, soak up the game, man. There's a lot to be learned, man. And yeah, Boogie, appreciate you and the time that you take out of your day of your life to devote, you know, to our brothers in the manosphere. You are definitely changing the world, man, and you are appreciated, brother. You are definitely appreciated. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
all right, salute, fam. Peace to everybody in the chat room, man, and I'll get with y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.